Welcome back to the allotment. It is the middle of December and it's beyond time for a allotment tour. I wanted to do this at the first week of December, but the allotment was under snow, and then subsequently we've been just hit by storm after storm after storm, which has meant it's been inclement to say the least. So this is the first day that I had a chance to get out in the garden for the whole of December and even take a look around, and it's such a glorious day to do it. I don't think you can tell from where I'm standing, but the sun is actually shining for the first time in ages. It feels really nice just seeing the sun makes such a difference. It's been so grey and cold and overcast, wet and miserable, snowing. It's not been a fun time. So now we get to scamper about the garden together and see what's happening, come up with a plan. I can assure you that absolutely nothing has changed because of my efforts since the last time I did a tour with you. And this is the first time I've been in the allotment, other than to empty a compost bin every now and again. So yeah, it's going to be as much a surprise to me as to you to see what's happening and find out how much damage has been caused by the extreme weather. Starting as usual, stepping out of the shed, and the first thing I see is the mini greenhouse. This has been all closed up and keeping everything snug. I might have to pause. Everything that was in here before is still in here. Snapdragons still haven't been pricked out. I'm slightly afraid to touch them now until it starts to get a bit warmer, so I'm intentionally keeping them there. I brought in the Sarracenia because they were freezing in the pond, and I think that one might be dead. Got some cabbages that I hadn't previously planted out. Calendula's still looking strong. The mallow is doing really well. These are looking really strong plants. And so too Scabiosa and Icelandic poppy. Again, these could probably really do with going out into bigger pots, but I don't want to transplant anything now that it's December. The corn salad might be an exception, but I might also just see how it goes and plant it out in the early spring. And on the bottom row, sweet peas. This is wonky and I don't really know why. Plum tree is still waiting to be planted in the ground. I might tackle that when I finished recording this video. I'll see how inspired I still am. But what is surprising is this California poppy. It's still alive, still green, shows every sign of surviving the winter. I guess I'll have to see how the next set of frosts and things go to find out whether or not that's really true, but so far, pretty impressed. That's dead, needs to go in the compost bin. Keeping on this way, super excited to see the buds on the blackcurrant bush. Strawberries. There's my little, I keep forgetting to check this, my little thyme. That looks like it's having a bit of a hard time, no pun intended. But I don't think it's dead yet. Probably could do with a bit of the weeds taking out around it though. Come back for that. I'm not going to start tackling the weeds in there, they're on their own. This is where the rhubarb hopefully will grow back next year. The lemon balm That could probably do with having a bit of a cut, because this stuff makes it look like it's dead. But that is fully alive lemon balm. No sign of the wild garlic yet, and look at all of the potential in the cherry tree. Oh, that is exciting. Pig pen still waiting to be filled. Compost bins. Honeysuckle has died. Probably not forever, probably just for now. And then we've got the beds. This bed has so much grass, but it's the time of year where I'm not entirely certain what's grass and what are things I intentionally planted that just are still very young. So I'm just leaving it as it is for now. In here I've got two bunches on there. Can you see my finger? Where's my finger? There. Bunches there and there of garlic chives. They're perennials. I planted out brassicas in here, so there's some really tiny kales and cabbages. Some of the kales, these two kales, are much more mature. That one looks like it's been trampled on. I sowed some dill, and it looks like possibly there are still at the bottom end there are some signs that there is still some very, very baby tiny dills alive. Similarly here, oh, the parsley's done much better. So this row is the parsley. Cabbages are doing well. The chard took a beating in the frost and the snow, but looks like it's recovering. Nothing pickable right now, but I think this will be a good early spring crop. More concerning is the decimation of my Welsh onions. They look like they've all died back, so hopefully they're not dead and they will return in the spring. But I was looking forward to being able to harvest some of those over winter, and now they're all gone. Same with the tarragon. This is supposed to be a perennial, but I am a bit skeptical about that, and this has completely died. So unless that is new tarragons coming through, we'll just have to wait and see in the spring. Oh, the pond is full of leaves. Gonna have to do something about that before it chokes out. Second bed. Lettuces are going strong. I should pick some of those. There's some cabbages that are doing quite well in here as well. Some fat cabbage. There was a kale there that seems to have passed away, for want of a better word. I definitely planted leeks in this whole area, and there is definitely not a single leek to be seen. No idea what's gone on there. Snapdragon is still alive but has stopped flowering. I wonder if I should cut it back or something, I'm not sure. Perpetual spinach, also quite strong, been munched a bit, but looking good. And then the volunteer broad beans also got beaten up by the snow and ice. But I'm just letting them grow here anyway for as nitrogen fixers. First bed. I mean, can you tell the difference between weeds and plants? Because I can't. That's perpetual spinach. There's some rocket and sorrel. Again, not really grown big enough to be able to harvest, and I've also taken a beating from the cold weather. I might try and cover this bed today. I have some fleece somewhere, so that would be a good job to get done. And my poor 9-star broccoli that was recovering so well. I accidentally left the gate open the other day and Peanut got in and ate it back again, and has been doing nothing but crying at the gate ever since because he wants to come back and finish it off. Not happy. Poor plant. Herbs are still here. This bed's still really weedy and I need to find a way to better manage that next year. I saw Komatsuna is recovered, and a couple of pak choys in there as well. Look at the beetroot though. I've never seen beetroot look so sad. I have no idea what happened there, other than the snow. But again, lots of signs of recovery, particularly on the red ones. The yellow ones are looking a little bit more dishevelled, but the red beetroots are looking okay. Oh my gosh, my vine looks completely dead. Yeah, that looks like an absolute goner. Are there any signs? Might still be green on the inside, so that's disappointing, but I'm going to have to wait and see if it recovers in the spring. Here's the evidence that Peanut ate my broccoli. Nothing is happening with the raspberries. I wouldn't expect them to be doing anything right now. I still haven't cut them back and I'm still not sure if I'm supposed to. Blueberries, the leaves have gone, but look at the colour of the wood. So beautiful. And just the start of next year's buds. This one is a much more sort of yellow colour, ochre kind of situation. Still love them so much, still my favourite thing in the garden. And now we're on to the garlic bed. Garlic are doing incredibly well, even though I never took out any of these broad beans. There is some lettuces here that could also do with picking, and I grew a row of pak choi. They're still very small. I imagine that if I had put these under any sort of cloche, they probably would have grown much faster. Something is eating them. And there is a row of spring onions here. Couldn't remember what they were then. Here. It was old seed. I sowed it as just a bit of an experiment, and there are a few coming up, but there's also a lot of grass in there, so we'll see which wins. And that is the allotment. Not much else to really talk about. I am sort of starting to think about plans for next year. Let's just have a quick overall aspect. I might make this the picture for this thumbnail. Peanut talking to his mate next door. What you doing, Peanut? You can see the sun. So one of the things that I'd really like to do next year is get rid of this grass. I know that might seem controversial, but I hate grass. I hate maintaining the grass, and it makes this not a particularly easy space to sort of enjoy. So I'd like to get rid of all of that grass and patio slab this area, so I just have a nice outdoor space and I can have plants in pots, and that will allow me to move the gate. The gate into here is not in an ideal situation. It's just not quite enough space for it, and particularly bringing a wheelbarrow, the concrete foundation of the garage takes up a lot of the space that I can get through. So I would like to essentially just move everything across. So that bit's fenced, and the gate is here. And that will work when there's no grass here anymore, because it will just be flat. You'll probably notice that the path in is actually sloped, so again that makes it quite difficult to navigate, bringing things like the wheelbarrow in and out. That's the only really big plan I have for next year, other than I really do want to get the greenhouse up. The greenhouse has been in my shed now since I moved here, which is nearly 2 years ago. There's the greenhouse, and that will free up a lot of space in the shed and give me more freedom to grow other things. Well, that went a lot better than I thought it was going to. I've now got a tree not in a pot and a really big hole. Now, in an ideal world, I would have thought about this in advance, and I would have collected a bag of well-rotted manure to place in there to give the tree a good start. But I didn't, because I never do. So instead we're going to go with a great big scoop of blood, fish and bone. that's it from my garden today. Let me know what you're doing in your gardens right now, or if you're not doing anything like I am, what your plans are or your hopes are for next year. It would be really great to share some inspiration. I'd started to think about a couple of things that I want to make sure I grow more of next year. One of them is spring onions. In this year's cooking, I've relied on spring onions an awful lot. So I want to try and aim to be self-sufficient in spring onions next year, and leeks and carrots. And other than that, everything else will just be what it will be. So I will probably not see you again in the garden until the new year, when things will be full of optimism. We'll be thinking about the spring and what's to come and all the excitement of the new season, the end of winter, when things start to get a bit hard. It's always nice to have some optimism. I'll be back with some other videos in the in-between times. So for now, I will say thank you so much again for joining me. Don't forget to do all of the things that YouTube likes, which is like, comment and subscribe to my channel if not already. And I'll see you soon. Take care.